What's up, Floss Tube? It's Monica with Peaceful Times. This is episode number 20, and it's Saturday, May 6th, 2024. Now, I have had probably one of the best weeks of my life. I've had two awesome things happen. The first of which is, let me get the date right, April 25th. Um, my son was able to get back into the United States. He officially had landed on that day, and he's been in Abu Dhabi area, um, staying at the United Arab Emirates for the last 7 months. And he's in the Air Force, and so now he is back in Phoenix, safe and sound, and enjoying life. He had to get moved out by the end of the month because the house that him and his buddies had rented, the lease was up, so they were all dispersing and going to different areas. So he's in an apartment and super happy, and it's a beautiful place for him to stay, and it doesn't seem like it's too far from work, and so it'll be a nice change for him. So that was the first thing. The second thing was I got into StitchCon. So I had been put on the wait list back in September when they opened it up for everybody to sign up. And StitchCon is, if you don't know, put on by Keepsakes Quilting. It's a quilt shop, a stitch shop in Ohio, and it's in the Cincinnati area, kind of in the like maybe suburbs, I want to say, more Sharonsville is the name of the like actual address. Um, and so they host it at the convention center there. And there are two weekends, weekend A and weekend B. And so I got into weekend A, and I'm so excited. And I got to tell you the story. Hang on, my dog is drinking. Okay, she's a very loud drinker. So I was just trying to curtail that a little bit. Um, so I have an old Hotmail account, and over the winter break, I tried to get as many things on that account off of there and switched over to my regular email account. Part of the problem is it's associated with Microsoft, and they only limit you to so much that you can put on there. Well, on my computer, I have stored all of my videos and pictures and all that stuff. So it's telling me that I need to buy a lot more storage. So I have now an external drive that I'm moving everything over to, so I don't have to buy anymore. But anyway, I went in there to search for some old email that I wanted to get, and I happened to notice, oh my goodness, an email that said StitchCon on it, but it said April 17th. And so the next thing I know, I look down, or this one was April 20 something, and it had said StitchCon and canceled, and I was gut wrenched. So what they do is when you're on the wait list, they send you an invoice, they give you a week to pay. If you don't pay, then your spot gets given to the next person on the wait list. And they had canceled my thing. Well, I never got like an original, like the beginning. It would have been or should have been the 14th or 17th of April. And I never got that email. And the only reason why it went through that Hotmail account is because of the fact that it's linked to my PayPal. And that's how they invoice you, is through PayPal. So I never even thought to check it. I had asked Stephanie, Pam and Stephanie from Just Keep Stitching, um, do a lot of the work for StitchCon. Stephanie works for Keepsakes, and so I had asked her, like, whose email address am I looking for? And it's Barb's at Keepsake, Barbara. And so I went through there and never found anything. I kept checking my spam because I didn't want to miss out. And I thought, oh, we're getting down, it's just a few weeks away, getting down to the wire, and I'm not going to make it. Well, next thing I know, um, when I went in there and saw this and realized that it was canceled, I was absolutely heartbroken. So I went running outside. My husband was outside working, and I was like, "You're never going to believe this." And he's like, "What?" Because he watches Pam and Steph with me on Sunday nights all the time. And he's like, "You gotta be kidding." I go, "No." He's like, "You could never use that email address." I go, "I know." I go, "The only reason why it went to that is because they bill through PayPal, and I thought I had everything. Like my Amazon account used to be through there and stuff. I thought I had everything switched over, and apparently PayPal was one thing that I didn't have switched over. So live and learn. But I quickly emailed Barbara at Keepsakes and I said, "You know what? I am so disappointed. I just got this email, but I said, if there's any way you can put me at the end of the list, I will, wait. You can email me the week before and I will still make sure that I'm ready to go." So she graciously, within a day or two, um, emailed me back and said, "Hey, guess what? We have a couple of openings left. And so I'll resend you your invoice and I'll put it right here through your main email. And you can just pay from here. You don't have to do it. I still went through PayPal, but I could just do it right there. The invoice was right there." So I was like, the second I got that email, I was screaming. I was so excited. And I immediately hit send, like payment done. So I'm super excited. It's a lot of floss tubers really that go to this uh, retreat more than anybody else. I think because there's hundreds of floss tubers that go that are on the list. And if you go to StitchCon 2024, although I don't think you can get in the Facebook page unless you're a paid um, person. So, but anyway, on there, I am listed on there. So I'm super excited. I'll have all sorts of fun stories and maybe some videos and lots of pictures to bring you the next time because being the beginning of May right now, 4 weeks from now, I'll be in StitchCon. I'll be in Ohio, which is about a 5-hour drive for me. And I'll put a floss tube up the following week. So it probably won't be for 5 weeks before I'm able to do that. So anyway, I'm super excited. Lots of fun news. I've had an extremely happy week with everything, good in my life. So super thankful for all that. All right. You can see my puppy here. She's not a puppy. She turned 10 a couple weeks ago. And so she's needing a little bit of attention. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. It's funny, I started this a couple days ago and pulled things out, getting ready to show you, and I've had nothing but delays and interruptions this go around. So for some reason, I'm not supposed to get this video up, or I'm having some obstacles in getting there, but we'll get there. So let's get started on what I worked on. Honestly, with school and everything, I've not had a ton of time. But let me show you this one first. Last time I showed you the Scarecrow that I was working on, and I had him started and I had him almost finished, but not totally finished. So here he is now fully finished. And I don't really have a name for him besides just Scarecrow, but hopefully you can tell that these are like little ears of corn, some flowers down here, and a pumpkin, another flower, and a leaf, some other leaves, some little falling leaves. And so I think he's pretty cute. When we go to StitchCon, one of the things you can do participation-wise is you can participate in a smalls exchange. And the only real rule, and I don't even think everybody follows that from what I've seen in some of the videos, is it's supposed to be 6 inches in diameter or smaller. And I've seen some that look to be 8 inches or whatever, but this would fit into that category. So I thought, well, maybe I'll use this for my smalls exchange. I don't know. Comment below if you think that would be a good idea. If you would like to receive a cute little scarecrow. I haven't figured out how I want to finish him yet. If you have any thoughts on that, should he be a pillow? Should he be framed? Do you have a name for him? Any of those things would be lovely. Any suggestions I appreciate big time. The next thing I sort of worked on, I'm going to see if I can find a pattern. It has to be up here somewhere. Well, I'll show something else first. I'll show it in a minute. Okay, I worked on this one. I had started this and showed you that it got called for my whip go, and it is from Heartstring Samplery, and it's called Coffee Quaker. And I always seem to like Quaker designs. So the last time I showed this, I had only maybe that much done about, and maybe not, I don't even think I'd finished the center of that. But now I've gone all the way across. As you can see, the top part, I tried to make it from here, the edge, all the way over to this one, and put in the little bird. So it is being stitched on 32 count vintage smoky white. Now, the I don't know what the pattern called for, but some of these colors in here really are light, and I just didn't like how light it was. So when I chose this, it's still light, but you can definitely see it. It doesn't melt in that much. So that's coming along. I'm trying to think of what other whips I had that I kind of worked on. Okay, this is one of the other ones. So I'd showed this last time, Little House Needleworks, Lantern Lane. And I had a question. Nobody answered it for me, but I answered it myself. And the snow I had done in what it was called for. Now it called for fabric-wise 30 count portobello from Access Commodities, and I didn't find that. So what I had used, I had a mushroom Lugana, 28 count mushroom Lugana, which I figured was pretty similar and seemed very similar in color. However, they use, what was it, eggshell for the snow, but you can't really see it. And to me, it doesn't look like snow. So I changed it out for bamboo, Classic Colorworks bamboo. I think I like that a lot better because you can totally see that it looks more snowy. This to me looks like gravel or sand or dirt, or it just blends in and you don't see it at all. So I think I'm going to pick the rest of it out and exchange it for the bamboo. If there's some reason you can think of that I shouldn't do that, please let me know. Comment below. So there's what I sort of worked on too. Now, I had a couple of new starts. The first one I had told you about. This is Hands-On Designs Memorial Day, and it's funny, this is an older pattern. I don't know that it has, 2020. So, I mean, not super old, but a few years old. And when I first saw it years ago, when it first came out, I fell in love with it, but then didn't get it for a long time. Well, now that I've bought it, it's funny, I see a ton of them out there, and I hadn't seen many for a while. It calls for these silky petite threads, and I'm doing it on a 14 count, 16 count maybe 16 count, because it calls for Yeah, I think it calls for 16 count or 32 count. So I did the 16 count, and this is how far I got. I'm doing it on like a stark white because in the in the chart you can kind of see the white stripes and some of the little white flowy, well, you maybe can't see it on here, but there's a little bit of white down here as well. And I just wanted it to be able to kind of contrast. And it's like an off-white that they use for floss or thread in this case. So I thought, well, I'm gonna try it on there, then you can see it a little bit better. So, all right. The next start that I had showed last time, and it's a Country Cottage Needleworks sunflowers in summer. We have like a greenhouse, not a greenhouse, but we have a house that is the color green, kind of like this. And it's called for to be used on 30 count cocoa. And so that's what I'm doing it on. So I have the top border finished, except for two little really dark colors, and I didn't grab that floss yet, so I have to wait and see if I probably have it in stash, I think is my, I just haven't pulled it out yet. So this is, I don't know if it's a week's, I think it's a week's. So it almost feels like burlap. I love how soft it is, but the holes are very loose. So, and I don't stitch with a hoop, so my stitches are not always all that perfect when it's a real fluffy weave. Because if I don't kind of hold it with a little tension to it, it looks like it's not straight. The lines aren't straight, but they are straight. So hopefully you can see that. But anyway, I think because it's one that I can see really well, I might take this to StitchCon and work on it. I don't know what all I'm going to take. We'll see. Okay, so another one that I had shown was this Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery, and Jacob does the designs from there. And I just love the colors. I watched Sarah from Sarah's Stitchy Spot do this one a couple years ago, and I started over here in this corner. I'm using a 36 count even weave by Fabric Flare. I actually love this. This has been one of the most pleasant stitches I've done in a long time. I like all of them, but sometimes you sit down with something, and I think part of it is there's only two colors, and I'm only using one strand because it's 36 count, so you use 1/2. But you have to be precise and perfect. And this has a double edge to it. So when I put it on the first time, I counted the inside for the outside or the outside for the inside, whatever it was, and I was a little off. So I had to take about 2/3 of it off and move it over like, I don't know if it was one stitch, two stitches, it was not much. And then inside here, I had the entire, the entire, the whole base, the berries in the vase, most of those were done. And I had to take it all out and restart it because I was off. So that was unpleasant. Needless to say, lots of frogging was done. But I think it looks nice and I think I'm going to like it. And it does go actually pretty fast. And I don't know why, because there's a lot of little stitches there, but I do love it. So I'm excited to get back to that. It's probably something that I may make as like a Sunday stitch or something that I can just once a week automatically come back and work on it. And that'll be something nice to do before work every time. All right. I think that's really all I worked on. I did do a little bit on the Lori Holt stitch cards, the what's it called? I have it right here. I can just show you. I literally last time I had part of the OC done for October, and it's going to say 31 here, and I finished the rest of the October, and then I put in the yellow stripe. That's all I did. Not much. And I probably will put this away till the end of summer and get it back out. Um, but I do love working on that one too. That one's super fun. So haul. That's the big thing. I ended up with quite a bit of haul recently. So for me, it's a lot. I try not to have a lot of haul, but I have. So first thing is Fabric of the Month Club from Farmer's Attic. And I love Farmer's Attic. I do. I really love their store. I love the stuff they carry. I love how they package things. I love how fast their shipping is. Um, the communication's always really good. I just love them. So this is Atomic Ranch Lavender. Now, when I got it, I was like, because I pretty much use, boring neutrals. And so when I got this, I was like, ugh. But then I found a pattern and I was like, how when you see something, it triggers you as you watch videos or look at things, and go, that'll be perfect for that. Now, can I remember what it was? Nope. I don't remember what chart it was, but it was nice to think, oh, I do have something I could do on there. And it might even be something I have. I might have been going through a lot of my patterns and charts and things, and I might have found something. I don't remember. But with this came a super cute little needle minder. So, and it's really strong magnet. It's sucks together. It's like a little couple bears and the opposite color of bears, but then your needle sticks to it. So it's a needle minder. Super cute, nice little addition that they put with their fabric of the month. So I love it, love it, love it, love it. And then I purchased, and I don't remember where I got all these from. Some would be from probably Farmer's Attic. Some was from another place online. But I had to have this. This was a market release this year, I believe, from Plum Street Samplers. And it's called Proverbs 31 Sampler. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Proverbs 31 Ministries. Uh, they have written some books. I think it's Lisa Turkart that does it. Um, but I just like all their things. And the idea is just it's book of the Bible, Proverbs, and it's the 31st chapter, and it's just all the things that women do and are called to do, and just how fantastic we as women are because we naturally just multitask and you know we're just we just have a lot to do, whether it's through work or through taking care of our parents or through taking care of our children or through taking care of our spouses or just all of that. um, you know, we're just called to do a lot. So this one says, "She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands." Proverbs 31:13. And of course, that's just what we do, right? I mean, as stitchers, that's what we do when we're creative and make things with our hands. So, and it's not very big. It's 115 by 115, so it's going to be a nice size stitch. It'll be something you can definitely accomplish. Um, any of these, I watch, and I can't think of her name. I'll put it down below. I'll link her YouTube channel, but she has so many good things, and she loves Plum Street. Plum Street Samplers is her absolute favorite designer. She loves everything Paulette makes, but she does not like all the biblical Bible verses. So she always finds something else to put in there. Or, you could still put, she seeketh wool and flaxen and worketh willingly with her hands, and then just leave off the Proverbs, verse. That's where it comes from, but I mean, nobody needs to know that. You could just put your initials there or something, or put your name, or put the date, put your initials and date. There's a lot of different things. There's a lot of ways you can take a chart and um, not redesign it, but maybe eliminate parts of it or add in something that makes it for you. And I don't know of any of these designers that are like, oh, that's my design. Don't you dare change it. All of them, anybody that I've talked to, anybody that, I've seen always says, hey, it's just a starting point. It was just my thought, my vision. You take it and run with it however you'd like. Now, you can't take that and then resell it, um, but you can, for your own art on your own walls, you can change it to anything, which is wonderful. So throughout the process, I've gotten a bunch of the um, floss for it. I still think, let's see, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6. A lot of what I'm missing is um, flosses that I have in other projects. I do have them, but they're either in other projects or they're sitting in a bag. Like maybe this bag right here. Some of these I did get for that too. So I did get more floss, and here are some of these. Some of these are for some other projects, some of the spring ones that I was wanting to do. I don't know. There's a bunch of things that I had those. Oh, so Spun Sugar Quilt Designs. That's where I got some of these from. Spun Sugar Quilt Designs off of Etsy. So if you want to look, if you like any of the things here and you want to see them. Another one that I got was this Prairie Schooler Santas Revisited. So this is 2001 Santa, 2006 Santa, and the 2008 Santa. Um, I love this one, of course, because it's got the sewing machine, and I'm a huge quilter and sewer. I've sewn my whole life. My mom taught me how to sew. My mom still sews. She made me a ton of my dresses from the time I was not even born yet, what she brought me home in, um, to, my cape for my wedding and stuff. So, um, yeah. I got some finishing pieces. I also got a black one. So these are Lady Dot Creates, the chenille pieces. So I have a lot of these in the same colors in, uh, one is brick and one is barn door, and this is brick. Um, I have these in the mini pom-poms, but it was nice to get, a bunch of these now. This is licorice in the actual chenille, because sometimes you just want to like glue them on the outside of a pillow, or um, even just kind of hand tack them down along the outside of a pillow. So I knew of a couple pillows that I would be finishing soon that I could use those for. Now, this one I loved. When this came out, I immediately emailed Teresa and was like, I have to have that. And oh my gosh, I just love it. It's so pretty. And I don't know why I like it so much. It's called Pretty in Pink. But when she first, before she named it, on her Instagram page, she had people like tell her what they thought would be a good name. And I thought Pretty in Pink was a perfect name for this. I love the frame too. The frame just sets it off because it's not a big stitch. So I'm working on, I've got most of the threads for that too. Oh, and then I got this. This is a kit for it's kind of a kit. It's most of a kit. It's the floss part of the kit. I still have to, I couldn't remember if I had the chart. I went back through. I don't have the chart. She wasn't offering the chart anyway. The chart was gone. But I've never tried dinky dyes. And so hang on here. It's, and I don't have the actual pattern to show you. I might be able to stick a picture in here. But it's called Remember Me by Annie B's Folk Art. Remember Me. And these are the dinky dyes that go with it. And oh my gosh. Okay, so these are silks, and silks are wonderful. And I haven't yet had a chance to try them. I only have one other chart that I've charted with, or that I've kitted with silk, and it's the MPI silks. These, I wished you could feel them. Wow, they are so soft. They are so wonderful, so yummy. And this is such a cool set of them that I thought, well, if nothing else, I can chart something with it myself and make them. So we'll see if I don't have the pattern, if I don't have the chart, what I decide to do with them. And then it came with some DMC, which they're great neutral colors you can use in a ton of things. So I had got those. One other thing. This is corn silk. It's a 36 count by Weeks. It's just a fat quarter. It's not coming across. It's coming across more tan, more neutral. It is a little yellower in real life. Being corn silk, it has a more yellow tint to it. But a storm's coming in now. I didn't get this done in time, so I'm losing my decent light that I had at the beginning. I'll hurry up. I'll be done in a minute. I got this chart. This is Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, and it's called the Little Red Schoolhouse Pin Keep 1862. Now, is that just not adorable? I know some people don't like this kind of stuff, and that's okay. I will probably make it for myself as a school teacher. And I'm also going to make it for, I always talk about how we go up every summer to Eagle River. And so unfortunately, she might be watching, Sue. If you are, just know that this is probably something you'll be getting at some point. So I picked out cranberry, the color cranberry, because it's so pretty. I have tons of, even this cocoa would work, right? I mean, it's very similar. And then you put that cranberry on there. Ooh, yummy. So I got that. And then another market chart that I got was Hands-On Designs, Botanical Bee. And I know the Sarahs are doing a stitch along for this, so check them out. It's Sarah, handmade by Sarah, and then the other one is, she used to be Stitchy Friends, and now she's it's called Stitching with the Sarahs. They've got 2 episodes out now. One is handmade by Sarah, and the other is, I'm trying to find it here. Hold on. Sarah's Stitchery. So find the 2 of those on Instagram or their FlossTube channels as well. So this is what it kind of looks like. If I can zoom in. But they're hosting they're hosting a sale for this. So I've used one of my new floss um, keepers, the little group of them that I got. I pulled this one out to use the floss rings that I got with my last thing. They're super cute. So these are super pretty, pretty colors. And I dye my own, I use Rit dye and dye my own fabric that color. It calls for Juniper by Fabrics by Stephanie. But I have the same, it's very similar. So I'm just going to use my own. This is not coming across very well. Like I've said, I've lost all my good light. But the colors are so pretty. on that bright blue, they're super pretty. And it doesn't take too many. You don't even have to use the Weeks Dye Works ones because they're pretty saturated. They're not terribly variegated or anything, so don't feel like you have to buy the called for colors on on this pattern. A lot of them are also not used too much. Besides the white and the black, the others are kind of just sprinkled throughout. So if you pick any colors that are similar, any yellow, any pinks, any greens, like an orange, I think there's an orange, yeah, you'll be just fine. So do not worry about having to have the exact ones. I just happened to get them while I was getting it, so I'm going to do this one too. This one is one that I'll probably also take to um, StitchCon as well, because I have 14 count that I would use that for. Um, and kind of when you dye it, it shrinks down to closer. It's like a 15 count. It doesn't shrink down to a 16 count, but it's smaller than a 14 count. So it'll be somewhere close. I can see that without needing big light or a big magnifier. I did also order from Amazon. They had them on sale, so they were like right around 20 bucks. Um, I had a really nice, my mom had given me um, magnifier that just kind of hang like a necklace, and you could flip it up, and it had these two legs that came out and kind of sat on here. I would use it in the car all the time, and it would just flop, 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 and I used it on the plane, and it flop, flop, flop. And I think it must have gotten kicked out of my bag on one of my trips to Arizona to see our son, because I don't seem to be able to find it now. After our last trip, I can't seem to find it anywhere. So, and I know I took it with because I had it, I used it a lot on the plane. So unfortunately, but the one that I got it has the ability to light up too. So, and it's a lot bigger. It's like flat like this. I'll show it to you when I get it. I may do a video right before I leave for QuiltCon to be like, woo, this is what I'm taking. And I might have time, like once school's done or my last week, like we get done with kids and then we have what's called a debrief week the week after. So we stay after and work on closing out all the major details of the year. So there's still a lot to do it right, and we are losing some teachers this year for sure, but typically we don't have like a lot of public schools where I'm at, um, they do a mass hiring. Like there's one district right by us that's doing a huge hiring right now. And they do all this hiring and then they pink slip them all at the end of the year. And a lot of them do get called back, but they do all this shifting and changing and, it's really weird. So the way they do it, we don't do that. We do only hire year to year. We don't have like 3-year or 5-year contracts or anything like that. Ours is just like year to year. But and you're given a contract that says teacher. It doesn't say what kind of teacher: elementary, middle school, high school, math, science, reading, third grade, second grade, first grade, none of that. So you just get something teacher, and then you typically stay where you're at unless you're me. I have been there like a decade, and I think I've changed jobs 7 or 8 times. And I've moved, I've been in like 6 different rooms. I've had to change rooms sometimes year after year. There was one year I changed rooms 3 times. So, yeah, I've changed a lot. Um, but that's what happens. And every time I take a new position, I'm like, I'm going to take this because I'm going to be able to stay here the whole time. Something happens and my job changes again. But I'm a flexible person. I'm okay to change because I get bored doing the same thing all the time. I mean, yes, you have different kids every year, but the same material, the same, stuff, I get tired of that. So, this year I'm getting to do some fun things too. And so it's been good. It's been a good year, and I'm looking forward to next year. We got a lot of changes coming. We have a new principal coming in. That should be interesting. We have like that. Some openings that we're trying to fill right now. Um, so we're just praying and working to see what we can get and trying to get the best people in, that are the best people for the job. So anyway, I start testing on Monday. So I'm actually done teaching for the year. Uh, Yesterday was my last physical teaching day. Now I have reading kids and I have 15 that I will continue to give homework to and email with the parents and things to make sure that they are getting a full year's worth of reading, because even in summer they can regress so quickly backwards when they're at such a young age that we really want to keep them with books in their hands and practicing decoding skills and things for as long as possible, and making sure they have all of those trick cards or trick words memorized, um, kind of like the silent ones, the ones that don't fall into the million rules that the English language has. So anyway, I start testing on Monday. I'm excited about that. 2 weeks of testing. The last week is a like field day, and we have a grading day and a half day, and so that week's pretty well shot. So it's winding down. You can tell I'm super excited about that and StitchCon, and my son's coming home in probably July sometime. Could be end of June, but probably July, and that makes me super happy too. So I hope everything is well in your world and that you get lots of lovely stitching time in, that we are coming on to, for most of us, a warmer set of days. I'll be praying for Texas next week, as I hear it is supposed to be blazing hot, like 120. Literally, I saw an article that said next week, and people that live in Texas that I know of said that their phone is showing well over 100 for next week. So that's very not typical, even down there. So we'll be praying for them and praying for all the people that had the tornadoes and the things that are going on that way. So um, I wish you well. And I hope to see you shortly before StitchCon. Let me know if you're going to StitchCon. If anybody out there is watching and is going, let me know. I can't wait to see you and meet you. All right. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you again soon. Take care. Did you miss me? I'm back. Sorry. So I did have giveaway winners. So the first one was for the cat pull. It's like a little zipper pull. It's got a cat on it. And the winner for that was VIRPIR 2453. And you'll have to let me know your address. All these have to be in the US. I can't ship outside the US. So if you're not in the US, I'll have to repull. Um, and then number 2 was Stitch Card E, Lori Holt's Stitch Card E. Oh boy, that glare is terrible now. Anyway, you know what it is. And the winner for that one is Char J57, CHARJ57. All right, take care.